Yeah, I think that makes sense.
You think about
Something you said, Jed, about these 7 steps and everything. Like I personally usually will back away from like that type of language, but something that I feel, and I'm assuming a lot of people right now, it's like, oh, conflict in my story. Like every hour there's a new conflict. Like where's the resolution? You know, it can be overwhelming. But one of the key things you're saying that sticks out to me is the importance of just like kind of just like mindfulness and journaling and just making sure that you're not letting those things accumulate to the point where you're just like you don't see you don't even you have too many like conflicts on top of each other that you can't even see what potential
That's right.
oral but potential resolution could have come out of them because you're not even keeping track anymore because you're just in complete like keep my head above water survival mode, which I feel like is where a lot of people are at. It was where I've been at this most of this year. They're just like mentally like, oh, I really need to get, you know, organized in my in just my own like self-reflection daily, and sometimes more than once daily, and be intentional about that, because otherwise I think I don't know, I think a lot of people, they have plenty of conflict and then they're not being intentional about trying to figure out what they
That's right.
learned, because they assume that every bad thing that's happened to them, there's nothing positive that could ever come out of it,
Well, there's nothing to figure
which
out. That's the other thing that we kind of march on from the conflict, and you can think of the reflection and the finding the moral as processing the conflict. If you didn't process the conflict, it's just stuck there like some thorn in your side, and it's just agitating you, and you don't even know what's agitating you for a long time. You didn't learn and grow from it. So
right.
that's what you're talking about with mindfulness. That's exactly what I'm saying. Like if we're not intentional about that, you don't you don't move on. That's what I'm talking about having a million muddy memories of things that happen, occurrences that happen to you in your life, and you don't know whether they were good or right or what could be done differently. You didn't process them, right? And that's actually the act of counseling. When you go to counseling, they're helping you
Yeah.
process through all of that, right? So this is a shorter cycle of that, of processing what is conflict in your life. And that's the story. Then you can tell it because it's been processed.
that's really interesting because I think the mark of a person who hasn't done that, who hasn't worked through that process, is an embittered person. So like a person who is unwilling to recognize their own shortcomings, or they're constantly looking back and blaming things, or they have 1,000 excuses for why it didn't work out the way they wanted it to, or why they didn't get to where they thought they were going to get to. They're just an embittered person.
That's right.
It's never their fault. It's always somebody else's fault. And I think we all probably can think of people who are like that. And that is a true sign.
I'm like that.
Well, that's a true sign, I think, of someone who hasn't taken the time to wrestle with that period of reflection on things. There's
I
this,
just think it's a never-ending thing, man. I just think it's like it's just you got to just constantly
It's
be
constant.
doing this,
Yep.
because otherwise it's just
It's every
yeah,
day.
there's just too much going on, and it's like that old saying of like know thyself. It's like it's a daily like almost spiritual practice of like
100%.
really
well,
like what am I going to do from these like hard things in my life, or what I'm going to do about the things that have happened to me that are long gone, and like why am I still processing it? And it's like if you're not intentional about just living in those moments and just letting them be what they are, you're not going to see the potential like resolution on the other end. And
But
maybe I don't know, I tend to think sometimes there might not be like don't fight for the resolution. Like sometimes it might not be super clear. It might be years before you're like, oh, I've actually built up this character trait because of this like traumatic experience. It's not like, oh, everything happens for a reason, that bad thing happened so I could have this amazing thing. But it's like, you know thank God I do have that character trait now, and it's not being thankful for the trauma, it's being thankful that, something positive could come out of that. And I think we jump ahead and we want the
resolution.
goods
Yeah.
too quickly, and we want the resolution too quickly sometimes. And it's like I try to strike the balance between like not trying to force it, but also not trying to be like, you know, completely hopeless about like, oh, this shitty thing that happened, there's no good thing could have come out of that, and it's like, well, I don't know that yet. I don't really know that. I'm not outside of my life completely. I haven't actually lived all of it yet.
Right. That's exactly right. That's why I was
just being
talking
open to the possibility of like, hey, there could be some like character growth from this.
That's right.
Let it exist.
That's the openness to getting new data the next time around the story flywheel. So when I'm talking about acceleration, I'm picturing this flywheel that accelerates every time it goes around with every revolution around it. And that's why in the graphic it's pictured as a circle and you coming around. So you're never supposed to process that conflict, come out, and then do nothing with it. You're supposed to apply it the next time you bump into that conflict again. So, and that's what gives you more data, because you made a hypothesis, you come into that type of conflict again, you apply something that you believe you learned from the last time you reflected on it, and it either accelerates you in the right direction or it didn't work. And then it gives you new data and say, nope, okay, we're trying it again. We're trying a new angle, And eventually you find grooves, you find paths, you find pathways that work. And you do accelerate. The whole thing does accelerate.
And like Mike said, some stuff takes way longer.
That's right.
Sometimes, I've had times where it was nice to have a whole weekend and not do anything but reflect on some stuff and to think about some stuff. And those just can feel uncomfortable, but it's nice to actually work on stuff that you want to work on or process. And we did definitely live in a culture where everything feels better when it's quicker and shorter and, got the answer right away and now I know what to do. But that's not also how you get strong. That's not how you get prosperous. All the things that people want in their life to be strong and prosperous and have a great family and all these different things, right? Those just don't happen very quickly. Those are the slow burn things that you get to because you're continually trying to improve and you're trying to live a little bit of a sacrificial life and build your family up or build the people up around you or be in a community of friends that you care about them or whatever it is that you do. It's not like, oh, I just met this person, now we're best friends. Like there had to be work. There had to be, hey man, I noticed you were down. Like let's figure out why.
Have you seen Step Brothers?
Oh wow. Yeah. You just disproved me in one question.
One movie.
Wait a minute. They weren't friends. They hated each other.
Yeah, it took a whole movie to become best friends. What the heck?
But yeah.
No, that's exactly right. Patience is something that's lost. I shouldn't say lost. It's just so much less appreciated now. But the great things in life take a long time. They take a lot of patience. I totally agree with that. I felt that way when I was writing the book over months. I'm like, someone told me about I read, I think it was Jerry Jenkins saying the marathon of the middle. It's like no one writes a book and then gets into the middle and doesn't say, why did I do this? Like it's hard and it probably shows in the lack of, whatever flowery writing that's just enlightened in the middle. It's more
at one
like
point
just hammering through
there's
it.
just like 12 blank pages.
Yeah. It's like, well, got past that.
We'll take care of that in the editing.
All work and no play makes Jed a dull boy. All work and no play makes Jed a dull boy.
But it is true. It takes
Yeah,
time.
I'm writing this great book, guys.
It's just accelerate. 12 pages.
And every time you come in here and interrupt me, I have to start over. Come on, we got to do the podcast.
You said something earlier, Jono, that I liked. You were talking about like when we say, hey, what's up? How you doing? To each other. And so the normal pat response is good. And you just leave it at that, right? So someone who's been in a time of reflection and willing to be vulnerable can just say a one-liner of what's going on with them right in that moment. That is actually an opportunity to accelerate in that moment.
Yeah.
Because if you were to say what it was you were processing in that moment to that other person, they might have a nugget of wisdom, or they may know someone who could help you. Or, I'm looking for, this. Yesterday I was looking for. This is just a stupid example, but my pipes burst, and I was like on YouTube trying to figure out how to. And someone says, "Oh, I already learned that. I'll come help you with that or something. Your story can accelerate from it wouldn't have if you hadn't have spoke up in that moment. So that's just a little example. And then if you multiply that out, it's the same, crystallize on a small level as it is on a larger scale.
Yeah, and I think remembering that the first thing you said is that story can be used for good or for bad.
Yeah.
And I think like a lot of people tell
Complaining.
well, yeah,
Don't forget
exactly.
about
A
that.
lot of people tell the same story over and over and over again. They never learn from it. So it's like it's the same story.
The
different day.
blaming and complaining is often the first thing you see someone post or say, and it's like, man, like we are, it's like the opposite of being grateful for everything we have, and being grateful for the opportunity we have, the country we're in, the freedoms we have, all the things that are going on that we can actually
Be thankful for.
We can be thankful for those things and then change our situation. And sometimes,
Oh my God,
you
full
don't
circle into
feel-
Thanksgiving week.
yeah, Thanksgiving. I mean, I don't know if, I'm assuming it's past now, but
You're probably listening to this after Thanksgiving, but
But it is Thanksgiving week for us.
unless I edit this tomorrow.
ooh,
Get it out
Yeah.
there.
so meta.
It's really true, though. There is so much to be thankful for. And that is a really key thing to sort of give yourself positive energy toward going after what you're, because we can start to feel negative. With enough conflict, you
You
can start to feel jaded.
You almost have to force yourself to think of the low hanging fruit, the easy
basics.
stuff. Like,
Yeah.
thankful I'm alive that I woke up this morning, and that, sometimes that's all you can muster, or like the people that are closest to you. But, the more you go, the more specific you get, and you're like thinking of people and situations and things you've done, experiences you've had, and it's like, wow, like, I'm not in a place now that I should just be complaining. I could actually, reflect and adjust and change.
Have you ever done the Wim Hof cold showers? If you ever do
I don't
that,
think so, because I've probably never heard of it.
it's breathing exercises and you take cold showers, it's supposed to be good for your health. It shocks your immune system and like builds up your immune system. If you ever
No.
done that, the next time that you take a hot shower, you're like, man, I'm thankful for this hot shower.
Okay.
I'm so thankful for this hot shower right now. It's just something we have every day, but it's incredible. There's hot water that's like, it feels amazing.
On demand.
On demand. So there are tons of things to be thankful for.
Well, let's wrap this one up. It's been an hour.
Yeah, I think we've been really diligent about the hour, and it's not.
It's good.
Really,
You're welcome.
Like,
listeners.
why?
Well,
We were gonna do 2 hours every episode, but now
Well, we never really talked about it. It just
Only an
ended up being
hour.
like, all right,
certain
it's an hour.
people's
It's like,
wives, if they've even made it this far into this one, you know who you are.
Linnell.
Malia.
Oh,
we
all
love
of our
you. We
wives.
love you.
Bethany.
The five listeners, we love you so much.
Thank you. Our diligent
The true
followers,
crew.
our real fans.
Yeah.
All right, so who wants to bring us home with some sort of a
Jed.
So
put a bow on this one?
So I'll just say that the book is not on the shelves yet. By the time at least at the airing of this podcast, it's not, but it should be by early 2021. And there's some pretty cool application steps at the end of every single chapter. One of them actually was I'm calling the complain game. You were just talking about complaining, and you find someone else and you catch each other if you say any type of complaint, and whoever has the most tallies,
Whoever complains more,
yeah,
or something.
whoever has the most complaints at the end of the
that sounds
at the end of the
that
week,
sounds stupid. I don't want to do it.
one
Wait,
for
you win with more, right?
No,
Is that
you
what you're
win with less.
saying?
Yeah, you win with less.
Oh,
but
it's golf scoring.
It's golf scoring. Whoever did get more has to buy the other a drink or dinner or something like that. But it's a good accountability kind of thing to sort of reshape your language, what you say. So, anyways, there's application steps like that at the end of these different chapters, and they're really helpful. So, really looking forward to getting everybody's feedback on that book.
Mm.
And with that,
Have a happy thing. Oh,
Ew.
hope you had a Thanksgiving that was happy.
Have a happy New Year.
Oh yeah, Merry Christmas, everyone.
ciao, everybody.
Like, subscribe, hit the bell, right here. Yeah, slap that subscribe, smack it, smash it, subscribe. Smash that